Oh God! Speaking of great lungs, you sent me that link earlier from that huffing subreddit. There's a subreddit. There's a subreddit dedicated to people who huff shit, and the guy was showing that he was like, basically they post pictures of like weird shit they've been huffing, and he's like, "Yo, bros, you tried this yet?" And it'll be like PVC pipe glue, and I'm like, "Yeah, it does smell good actually." Every time I've ever done any PVC work, I'm like, "Man, that smells nice." Then some guy will have like acetone for auto paint or something like that, some sort of paint thinner stuff. Taylor posts one, and the guy has Black Widow Killer, and he's like, "Yo, 12 hits of this, and you see the doo-doo man."
Yeah, it's all misspelled, but it says every time 11, and it's a picture of Taro Spider Killer, that big orange can. And it
Do
goes,
not do this, people.
every time 11 huffs fine, 12 huffs poop man come. And then it didn't write anymore after that. I guess the poop man came. And did you scroll to the other picture, Kyle?
No.
There's a picture of what he's huffing, and then you hit the right arrow, and it's a picture of a poop-stained mattress. And so this guy is clearly huffing so much spider killer that he's shitting himself. He's like an alcoholic waking up the next morning and being like, "Oh, why do you always take that 12th puff?" Like,
it's kind of like that one. It's like after 2,500 milligrams, the Hat Man does not respect gender pronouns.
Yeah. Yeah, the Hat Man, he's the Benadryl.
Robitussin.
Yeah, Benadryl. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Robitussin is a real drug that people use if they can't get Tussinex. Or I guess Robitussin is not the real drug version of Tussinex, right?
Used to be, maybe, I think.
I was talking to a friend of mine, like, who was way too deep into codeine and Tussinex and that shit in like his early mid-20s. We were just having a game night the other night, and he was talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, it got bad, and there were times, I would go in and I'd go to my local clinic, and I would say, I had the whole thing rehearsed. I'd say, I have dark green phlegm. I've been coughing so much my throat hurts." And then when the nurse would say, "Are you allergic to anything?" I'd very casually go, "Oh yeah, my main doctor said I can't have something called codeine. And if you can't give them codeine, that means they have to get Tussinex." And he's like, "And it was great, dude. We had a great thing rolling for a while. I'd go and I'd get this giant bottle of Tussinex, and then I'd bounce around to different clinics like a couple of times a week." And then eventually he got banned from one of the clinics because they realized, like, this dude isn't fucking sick. There's no way you have the flu again, sir, for the 11th time in 2 months.
So Tussinex, that's the stuff that lets you see the...
Tussinex is like Robitussin, but it has no acetaminophen in it, I believe. And so it's like it's like Vicodin. I think it's liquid Vicodin, and that's an opiate. An opiate. Yeah. Right. So it's like instead of taking the pills, you're getting the liquid. And I don't know much about this class of drugs. The way he explained it to me was that like a tiny sip of that, so like 5 milliliters or something of that Tussinex, was equivalent to a much larger amount of actual Vicodin pills. And so he and a couple guys I knew would bounce around.
Okay, it's something else. I think what it is he was probably telling me he was allergic to acetaminophen, and they were giving him so he could
that
get
must
codeine.
be what it is. Yeah,
because codeine is the best drug. Like it, I understand. It's so good. It makes you a little itchy, but you get used to that.
I think I'm not having a typical experience. It makes me get like a throbbing kind of headachy type thing. And as you know, I get into it all the time. Yeah, it's the worst. And I get off it as fast as possible. I prefer pain.
You might be like me because I'm allergic to a lot of painkillers. Like I have a bad reaction every time. Like I just get like headaches. I get nauseous, like a bunch of stuff.
Weird.
It's a good thing to be allergic to. Those things are dangerous.
Is it? What if you're ever burnt?
They'll just give you...
What if an RPG explodes on you and you're like, "No, not the good stuff. I'm allergic."
I'm allergic.
Give me something non-habit forming. Give me something 4th degree burns. That marrow is cooked.
It's like fucking Two-Face fucked me up.
Oh yeah. It's worth being a bit itchy if that's the alternative. No, I'm scrolling through this huffing community top all time, and it's so funny. Like, I know some of these people are trolling, obviously. The same thing with the gang stalking. But that tarot thing, the poop man come, that was the top all-time post there. The second one is just the guy who says psych ward, and he's in a psych ward.
Why did they give him a phone in the psych ward?
Dude, dude, mugshots of paint huffers. That's
Oh, those are fun. Can you roll some of those up, Zach? Just find us some good paint huffing mugshots because they genuinely are hilarious. I remember a cops episode and the cops roll up and there's this guy with spray paint all over his face and he's limping and they're like, "What happened, Otis?" He's like, "Goddamn kids threw me off the bridge again." These kids came along and found this poor old homeless man so out of his mind on paint he couldn't resist and they tossed him off a small bridge.
What? I'm a
Looks like
Warriors fan.
He's ready to steal Christmas.
He does. Dude,
What
that's
in the-
fucking Temu.com, Jim Carrey.
Oh, witness me. I like this guy.
What color would you be? What color would you get, Taylor?
What the closest to my beard color?
Oh, I bet you could huff real good. I feel like a beard would allow you to like
Oh, you
keep some
store it.
residual.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might get overdosed quickly.
Flavor
The
saver
black
for
the
huffing.
black guy almost like you almost can't tell. You know what
Dude,
I
that
mean?
guy's
that
guy's
joke.
He's like,
that guy's
give me Hickory
wasteful.
Brown. Do y'all have Krylon Hickory Brown?
Is there
Shit.
something about metallic paints that makes it better? Everyone's choosing them.
I think it's just because the people that did it with the beard and they did a natural color didn't get caught.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
That's true.
It's that the people who are stupid and awful enough to huff gold sparkle paint are also very much likely to get arrested while huffing
Yeah.
gold sparkle
And
paint.
you know what else?
Don't
I
do
would
that
not-
to the president.
I bet genuinely that price is an
There you go.
object to these people. And so they're probably getting the cheapest spray stuff they can. So like maybe house color or like wall color is less or more expensive than
Damn.
gold.
I
You know,
choose to believe they
sparkles.
go to
Let
Home
him
Depot.
huff some paint. Jesus.
They go to Home Depot, huff right in the aisles, and try to walk out unnoticed.
I'm sorry.
You can't prove anything.
Well, excuse me, where is plumbing? Like just fucked up
They
covered
do.
paint.
They genuinely do that all the time. Mitty, my friend that worked store security for a while, they'd catch a guy and there'd be like 3 or 4 empty cans at his feet, and he'd be trying to kill the fifth. Or that there was one guy that like hid in the bathroom overnight, like stood on the toilet so they didn't notice, and they found him in the morning, passed out in a pile of keyboard dusters. By the way,
That's
have
what
you ever-
Steve-O used to do, yeah.
keyboard dusters have this additive in them, as I'm sure many products do, that tastes so horrific. Like there's no high worth that. There's no high worth. You know how if you lick deodorant accidentally, how that weird thing it does to your tongue? It's
Yeah.
like that plus the bad part of a pecan. And it
Yeah.
won't go away. Yeah, it's terrible.
I've told before. I went to high school with guys. 4 of them got a job working at the grocery store after school, solely to do the whippets. It's when what is it? It's not Cool Whip. What is the Ready Whip? The can one.
Well, Whippet is a brand. There's 2 brands.
Oh, Whippet is a brand.
Yeah.
I think that's what they called getting the air out of a Ready Whip.
Sure. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
nitrous oxide in general. What do you call it when you've got like the canisters and stuff? Whippets. Yeah, it's the same thing. You call it the same shit.
Or
right?
nitrous
You can-
oxide.
Yeah, it's all nitrous
You
oxide,
can
right?
go. Yeah, I've never done it, but I've seen degenerates on my cop videos, and I've seen, of course, on Amazon. You can go right on Amazon and buy like a Whippet kit. You can buy like all the canisters and like this dosing machine. You like put the canister in and like balloons up with it, or you can like shoot it straight from the machine or whatever. I saw this lady get pulled over. Her whole floorboard was full of CO2 cartridges, and it's like, oh, not CO2, but nitrous oxide, I guess.
Mm.
It's like, what are you doing tonight, ma'am? And they're just like picking dozens and dozens of them, driving. They drive around and do whippets.
Well, you can't do it just sitting still.
Yeah, they're trying to have a good time.
I
Dude,
I
they're
think it
already
might have been
whipping
this
out.
show. You were talking about it. I can't remember. It was either here or Steve-O. It was one of the two.
Mhm.
But they were talking about how on Amazon, like they know exactly what the fuck you're doing because the increments they sell them in, like
Yeah.
1, 4, 24, or like 948 or some shit like that. Like, we know what you're after.
Yeah, I think we did go through the Amazon listing for that, and that there were
Oh.
people in the comments like leaving, not so
Best
well coded,
desserts ever. You forget the whole day.
totally delicious. I had a hangover, or like just stuff that doesn't make sense.
My
in the
kids don't
context of
talk
it.
to me.
Yeah, I hate myself.
Is it a bad drug? Because
4 stars.
I've done it. Yeah,
What I'm wondering though is it a drug that you would associate with like bad people? Because like drugs definitely have that, right? Like you think when you think of the typical user of insert drug, like is that guy an ass? Oh, meth. I think of a white guy every time. He's missing some teeth. His hair's greasy. He's way too skinny.
This is good. Continue with your meth stereotype, and I'm going to do some rapid fire drugs. You're going to fill me in.
Yeah, I don't think I want to play this game anymore.
Yes, you do.
I associate nitrous oxide with hippies. That's when
I associate nitrous as like a party thing for younger people.
Steve Miller concert. Yeah, there was a guy there with you know what those like. If you were to buy like acetylene, the things, this was like neck high, good 4 or 5 feet tall canister of nitrous oxide. And he was just selling balloons full of it.
I bet you could turn that around and make so much money. I bet
he did. Yeah.
I bet that giant tank costs a few $100s, and he's probably selling thousands of dollars worth of balloons. How illegal is that? That's another one of those. I saw a YouTube video the other day, and the whole premise was these are all I tried all those legal drugs you've heard about, and he's like chewing beetle bark. He's taking salvia. He's taking all sorts of different drugs. He did red cap mushroom tea, and it just. I knew those drugs were legal, but I didn't think that they were.
Are they any good?
Yeah, that's what the video was about. Varying degrees of either like
what
really
was the
good
most tempting one?
I didn't watch the whole video, but I watched the red cap tea part where he was, by the way, red cap mushrooms are deadly in the right quantity, but he was eating the right quantity and making a tea of it. And he seemed like he was super like relaxed. He compared it to
almost dying,
like Xanax. He said it was like a few Xanax. He said he was like really chilled out, and it helped with sleep. He said. Speaking
of nitrous, and we had, out of nowhere, we mentioned Milo on PKN, and then he came out and because he used to work with Kanye West, and saying that Kanye has a nitrous addiction that's being fueled by his dentist. Says that
I did see that picture of Kanye. He's got like the thing on his nose with like double hoses coming out of either side. He looked like the villain from Mad Max Fury Road. He looked like a Morton Joe. It's nice.
Yeah, he does. Find a picture of that. Yeah, this is what Kanye or Milo said about Kanye, and it's next to this picture of Immortum Joe. There's a reason Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is no longer capable of successfully releasing music or clothing. In fact, there are several reasons, but the most serious and the most recent is his dentist, Thomas Connolly. Connolly got Ye hooked on nitrous laughing gas. It is my belief that Connolly sought to diminish Ye's mental faculties so that Connolly and his business associates could extract millions of dollars from him. Earlier this year, I uncovered the fraud and intervened. Ye, hooked on nitrous, blew up our relationship on purpose by proposing something that he knew I'd have to resign over because I told him so. The resurrection of his longtime idle fantasy of making pornography. Thomas Connolly is a dangerous predator who targets African-American celebrities into whose mouth he puts fake diamonds, as I suspect he did to Lil Yachty. He must be stopped. I filed a complaint with the California Dental Board, the highest board.
They already made it
to that end. Yeah, the California Dentist Board has assured me that they've investigated themselves and they've found no wrongdoing.
I'm looking at that.
Zach, will you add that to our shop real quick? Give us one of those with the
BPAP users catching strays over here.
Oh.
This isn't cool.
Yeah, everyone's making fun. You're like, well, I need it to breathe. I'm not doing drugs.
What are the odds we're thinking that this is real?
100%.
Well, it is Milo, so you don't know.
I saw the picture of Kanye with the mask. I saw a different picture than the one Zach showed that you could see the mask.
Oh, I was meaning about the whole like sinister dentist and all that. Like,
oh, of course. Well, of course he does. Like, where else would he? Yeah, that makes sense. No, I believe all of that.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's
he
Kanye West. Look, that is a picture of him.
There's no way. That's a white eye underneath there. That's a woman. Or he has the most svelte shoulders I've ever seen on a man. That's look at the normal Kanye. Man behind.
Why would they have that picture there if that weren't Kanye?
Maybe that's the dentist.
If that's the dentist, he's a fucking super villain.
Yeah, if that's the dentist, I believe everything. Like, I think he's doing a lot more than what Milo's letting on. If that's the dentist, but yeah, I guess.
No, I believe that 100%. Why not?
Yeah, Milo Yiannopoulos wouldn't just.
Why wouldn't that be true
on the internet?
He wouldn't just make things up online. But I don't know. Kanye, he's gone out there a few times.